Sealing an indictment, which has been labeled, at least initially, indictment number 22.
Course of sexual conduct in the second degree. I believe is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were talking. Dr.Rabadi, Ibrahim Rabadi.
Officially is IND-70044-22.
On behalf of my client, enter plea of not guilty.
Okay. Ms. Crawford, you wish to be heard with respect to the issue of bail?
Your Honor, the people would leave bail in your discretion. We've discussed, the people have discussed with Mr. Pappalardo that Mr. Rabadi could have a few days to seek out a bail bondsman and not remain incarcerated in the interim, should Your Honor set bail.
Mr. Pappalardi, I want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly, Mr. Pappalardi. There's an I at the end of your name and not an O.
It's an O, Your Honor. Pappalardo. Thank you, Judge.
My apologies.
No worries, Your Honor.
With respect to the issue of bail, Mr. Pappalardo, go ahead.
Judge, I would ask that my client be released on his own recognizance. He adamantly denies the allegations contained in the indictment. He is a practicing doctor who has practiced in this county for 30 years. He's been in private practice. He's helped thousands of people during the course of those 30 years. He also has a practice in Catskill, New York as well. He owns each of the buildings where his practice is located. He is a resident, a local resident as well. Judge, he has 3 children, all of whom are doctors, and a 4th child who is an autistic daughter of his who's in high school right now. He is the sole means of support for his family. He supports his kids in terms of still paying their loans, going through medical school. He is certainly not a flight risk. He voluntarily surrendered here today to court. In fact, he was cooperative with the Hudson Police Department. I was working with him in terms of the investigation itself. He's certainly not a flight risk, Your Honor. He understands the serious nature of these charges. He intends to be in court to fight these charges, and his appearance will not be an issue in this case. So I'm going to ask that he be released on his own recognizance. He will be present for each and every court appearance. If Your Honor was inclined to set bail, the people were kind enough to advise us, since this was a sealed indictment, that they would give us time to have my client make arrangements to pay the bail. So alternatively, that would be my request. But I believe that ROR is appropriate in this situation for a man who's been practicing in the area here for 30 years and has helped thousands of people.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Anything further, Ms. Crawford?
Not with respect to bail, thank you, Your Honor.
Bail is set in the amount of $25,000 cash, $50,000 bond, or $100,000 unsecured bond with a 10% down payment, effective 5 o'clock, Friday, April 1st.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And because there are multiple victims in this case, the people ask that Your Honor, in the order of protection, direct that the defendant have no contact with anyone under the age of 18.
Judge, I would oppose that application. He has a medical practice. He's a pediatric doctor as well as an adolescent physician. He has a very thriving practice. I would object to that request.
Ms. Crawford, anything further?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, I'll just point out for the record, he has been practicing for over 30 years. There's never been an allegation against my client. So I would be in opposition to that, because that would basically shut down his practice.
Ms. Crawford.
Your Honor, if I may, without going into too much detail, the underlying allegations occurred within the context of his practice.
Judge, and he denies those allegations. It's my understanding that there were witnesses who indicated that this did not happen to the Hudson Police. I understand that there's an indictment, and he understands the seriousness of the allegations against him. but in effect, the court would be shutting down his medical practice.
Well, I am willing to issue a full stay-away order against the alleged victims as it may be uploaded. I am not unmindful of the impact on on the defendant's practice. I hereby direct that the order of protection shall contain a provision that at no time shall he be left alone with any patient under the age of 18 years of age, whether a parent accompanies him in the room or a nurse or some other staff member, that he may not be alone, period.
Understood, Your Honor.
Ms. Crawford.
Your Honor, I would ask that that be extended to any other child, not just patient.
I can't hear you.
People would request that that be extended to any child, not just patients.
Judge, again, I'm opposing that request. There's no basis for it, Judge.
I will not grant that application. But I
Thank
will
you.
require that to the extent that Dr.Rabadi sees patients at this particular time, that, like I said, that he will be accompanied at all times. When he's
Understood, that's his office practice as it stands, so that's fine, Judge.
Anything else at this time, Ms. Crawford?
Your Honor, unfortunately, there isn't anyone in our office currently that can upload a draft order of protection to the
All right.
system, so we'll have to provide the information to the court.
Effective immediately, that order of protection is in effect with respect to the alleged victims and the limitations with respect to the visitation, to the seeing of any patients. Mr. Pappalardo, are you prepared to accept service of the order to show, of the temporary order of protection on behalf of the defendant?
I am, Your Honor, and that's what I was just going to indicate. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Anything further at this time, Ms. Crawford?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Pappalardo?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
If I haven't said it, Doctor, you are entitled to be present at each and every stage of these proceedings. If you're not present, I'll assume you're giving up the right to be present, but absent a valid excuse, I will continue the proceeding in your absence. The next time you're scheduled to be here is June 1st at 1 o'clock.
p.m. Yes, thank you, Judge.
You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you are currently potentially facing, if convicted of the top count, I believe, of 7 years incarceration. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I believe these proceedings are concluded then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Pleasure, Judge. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Oh, one thing we need a pedigree sheet filled out, don't we?
Thank you.